Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, for something a little bit different. For the first and last time this season, the Vsrl ARCA Series is going to travel to a road course. Should be a fun one here tonight at Lime Rock Park. 7 corners here. It will be a good time. We'll talk about it here in just a second. But first, here on V-Speed, as always, I'm Morgan Cook, your host and producer. And this is Vsrl. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for all the videos in the future. You don't want to miss any of the action here on V-Speed. You can't get it anywhere else. Now let's talk about Lime Rock Park. 7 corners. A single technical section, turns 1 through 4. 5, 6, and 7 have no bearing on each other, meaning that if you make a mistake in 5, you can regroup and make it right in turn number 6. Interesting racetrack, pretty easy to learn, but very hard to master, especially in these ARCA cars, which I have heard are what you would call on top of the racetrack, meaning they do not grip up. A lot of front grip, but very little rear grip. It'll be a handful for drivers tonight. Let's have a look at the point standings. As we are 4 races in, Sean Langton has won 2. Richard Holland and Nicholas Pressey 1 apiece. Justin Ritchie is not here tonight. Dakota Floyd will more than likely assume the 4th position. Garrett Helmlinger is here, so is John Snoop. Benjamin Richards and Teresa Spiker are not here tonight, but Kyle Stewart is. So there will be big changes throughout the top 10 when it comes to the point standings. Let's have a look at the schedule. Lime Rock Park, there you see it, 5th one down. In the column, Charlotte next week for what should be the longest race of the season. Martinsville will follow that up, and then Talladega to close out the regular season. We have a 4-race playoff at Michigan, Dover, Milwaukee, and Chicago. Winners throughout the rest of the season will lock themselves into that final 4-race playoff, and then the winner of that will become the champion here for the inaugural season of the Vsrl ARCA Series. Should be a fun one here tonight. We got about 20 seconds remaining until we more than likely see Sean Langton win another road course race here. Potentially. I think that's what everyone's thinking here tonight, but we still got 40 laps ahead of us that are going to let us know if that is correct. So let's get down to the grid. Wait for the session to flip over. And we'll get you there in about 3 seconds. Warm-up just now concluding. Just a moment, we'll be able to see who qualified on the pole. I don't think it's anyone's surprise. Sean Langton was the driver to claim the pole award. Nicholas Pressey, though, right on his tail, the only 2 drivers to break in to the 52-second bracket, only separated by 3/100ths of a second. 3rd spot tonight, Kyle Stewart. Dakota Floyd going to be his outside. 3rd and 4th. 5th position, Richard Holland in the 31. Garrett Helmlinger will start in 6th. 7th position belongs to John Sanu in the 86. Brenton McKee will start in the 8th position. And rounding out your field, Austin Livingston, in the 23 starts 9th, and Thad Miller starts in 10th. There are only 10 cars here tonight, so this will be a pretty slim field. Should make for some good racing, some good clean racing here at Lime Rock. View from the blimp at this majestic, free-flowing facility. A lot of fun to race here. Cars are going to roll off the grid here on the front stretch. There's the start-finish line right there. You see it on your screen. Langton's going to have that preferred inside line when they come back around to complete the pace lap. That's your field. Right there on the screen. 40 laps here tonight. The pit window, well, it's 44 laps, meaning you will not need to make a pit stop tonight. A lot of these drivers are going to be very pleased about that. As the pit entry here, it's diabolical. We'll see it when we come around to take the green flag. It is a cutout in the wall that you have to somehow slalom your way through. You go from about 140 down to 35, and that is very difficult on a slippery racetrack. It was just about raining earlier in the session, so the track should be cool. Have a look at the weather as we roll up the hill. 102 degrees Fahrenheit. It got very hot very quickly. There's your field up over the crest. Car gets very light. Right there will be difficult to keep the rear tires under it. Currently rolling into turn number 6. I call this one, well, I don't know what they call that one. Turn 6, I guess. Now we go down the hill into the final corner. Turn number 7. Fast, sweeping, out-in-out style corner. Onto the longest straightaway of the racetrack, which is the front stretch. Starter has the flag in his hand. You see pit entry. They're off to your left. We are green at Lime Rock. Langton's going to dive down to turn number 1. Pressy to his outside. Langton's going to get the advantage through 2. They single file out for the top 5, 6, 7. Helmlinger pushed a little bit wide. He's able to get back behind Brenton McKee. It's all smooth sailing so far for your top 5. See everyone still in line. Every car still on the racetrack. Thad Miller bringing up the rear of the field. Just trying to feel it out. So far, we go through the hill. Very difficult part of the racetrack. Everyone making it through there cleanly. And Langton rolling into the final corner in the last turn. Turn number 7. Using all the racetrack, all the way out to the... Oh, big slide for McKee. Saves it. Does a great job. That could have been a disaster. Closest battle on the racetrack right now is Kyle Stewart. All over the back of Nicholas Pressy. Pressy's going to gap him a little bit through 2. Behind Kyle, go to Floyd, then Richard Holland. Then a bunch of trucks, cars behind Holland, who's around in the grass. Rear damage to the back of the 31. Able to get it back righted here. Let's see if we can figure out what happened to the 31. Replay coming at you here. So this is into 2. This is back into 3. Just it's a little bit wide, and you got some help from Brent McKee. Got a little bit of help there. Got a lot of help, in fact. And around goes the 31. Back to the live shot. Livingston is around. I think that was a self-spin. Going to fall back to the 10th position. Langton still out front. The gap is now 1.4. As Pressy's got a mirror full of Kyle Stewart. See if Kyle can do anything here with the 94. Big run down this backstretch. S's section up the hill. Stalking him all over the rear bumper. 3 laps in. Into 6. And then down the hill. These top 3 in a class of their own lap time wise. Only drivers in the 53-second bracket. They all did it again that time by Dakota Floyd in the 54s. Working a new wheel and pedal set today. First time he's plugged it in was tonight. So we'll see if that has positive or negative implications for the driver of the 24. Brenton McKee also running 54-second laps after that damage. With the 31, you see the left front a little banged up right there. Currently in the 5th position, hanging on to the top 5. Garrett Helmlinger 1.5 back. He is in 6th. Twitchy working into the hill section. John Sanu running in 7th. Up the hill. Able to keep the momentum going in the right direction. Thad Miller finds himself in the 8th spot. 15 seconds behind your leader, Richard Holland, after the spin, is 18 seconds back. And Austin Livingston, after his spin, And a little bit of a slide there, is now 25 seconds behind the leader in the 10th and final position. Back up front, the top 5, within 4 seconds of each other, as Langton is just cruising around this racetrack. Let's ride on board and just listen to how well he drives this place. Now we're hitting the front stretch here. We're going to go through the technical section, 1 through 4. Couple downshifts. You want to swing a little bit out wide here. Set up for this corner. You got to go out, in, out here to try and set up for the final turn 4. Really easy to spin the tires right there. Quick short shift. And up the hill. You hear the tires sliding, tires squealing, but he's still bad fast here at Lime Rock. Through turn 6, hit the curb, down the hill, through turn 7. Jared Helmlinger with an issue. The driver of the 88 has fallen back to 9th. See if we can figure out what happened to him. Still 9th there. There he spun around. Another 30 seconds back. That should tell us what happened. Just through the technical section here, just going on to the S's. I think he spun out in the hill section, if I had to guess. That's exactly right. Little too much throttle. Spun it out, didn't hit anything. No harm, no foul for the 88. Back to the live shot. Kyle Stewart again all over the back bumper of Nicholas Pressey. He's going to get around him here potentially to the outside through the final corner. This is going to be a tough one to make. Pressey gives him a lot of room. Classy move by the driver of the 94 as they drag race into turn number 1. Pressey's got the momentum right now. He's going to take the bottom. Pressey gets loose over the apron. Kyle to the inside. And Stewart complete the pass as they roll into turn 3. Difficult to go side by side here. Advantage, Pressey. He's going to squeak ahead. So close for Kyle Stewart, but a phenomenal save for Nicholas Pressey. Just about locked it up in turn number 1, able to keep it righted. As they go up the hill and over the hill, Kyle Stewart's loose, but still right on the back bumper as these two fight. About 4 seconds behind your leader. It is Sean Langton, led every lap so far on another Sunday drive. Talk about some statistics here in just a bit, but for now we're going to see if Kyle Stewart can catch up to the driver in front of him, Nicholas Pressey. Seems like Stewart is really good in that turn 1 and 2 section compared to the 94. And that's all a rear tire management section. You can kind of see every time Kyle puts his foot down, the gap gets smaller. Now 4/10 up the hill. Pressey beat him there. Into 6. Give Kyle the advantage. Then through the final corner. Pressey beat Kyle into the corner, and Stewart got him off the corner. Interesting battle here, having to really... Oh, Pressey got wide. Just about slid off the backside of turn 1 and 2. As that 94 is driving it for all it's worth right now. You can see the black marks off the rear tires. Just trying to hang on to it. Stewart under 4/10 of a second now into the hill. They both slide. It's a good battle, folks. So difficult to pass at this racetrack, catch him at this racetrack, but I'm gonna give a big shout out right now to Dakota Floyd. Oh, Pressy's off track. Pressy slides off of the final corner. The gap now is 0.3 of a second. As the 94 is really driving this thing. Wide again. What does he do in turn number 3? I don't hear a lot of wheel spin. A little bit right there. But Kyle Stewart is right there. Look at the gap. About one car length here. A quarter of the way through this race. It's going to go by very quickly, folks. No cautions, no stages. Just good old-fashioned road course racing in the ARCA car. Gap extends to about half a second. But Dakota Floyd, with his new wheel, keeping it on track in the 4th position. Turned his first laps with this wheel in practice about half an hour ago. Clearly he's taking to it fairly well. 24 is yet to be off the racetrack or really even slip a tire all too bad. Doing a great job. Very adaptable driver is Dakota Floyd. Over the hill. Picture perfect from here. Down to a quarter second again for the 2nd position. Kyle Stewart, who's been very good at the road courses in Vsrl, whether it be the IndyCar Series, the Truck Series, or here in the ARCA Series. Always a top 3 threat as Pressy goes wide. There's contact. They run to the side of each other. Stewart's able to almost get ahead. Not quite yet. Pressy still to the inside. Contact again. Pressy into the grass. As Stewart now has the position. Change for 2nd. The 41 moves up, the 94 moves down. With a little bit of a bobble in turn number 1. That was enough for Nicholas Pressy to lose the 2nd spot. And now, can Kyle Stewart chase down Sean Langton from 6.7 back? That would be an incredibly tall task as Pressy is struggling to hang on right now. Probably got some hot rear tires. Your worst enemy at this particular facility. Great battle for the 2nd position. Stewart's going to pull away. The gap is now 1.1 seconds as Pressy slides a little bit through 3. You get it righted for 4. Another slide. Oh, he's loose. The 94 is going to have to cool those rear tires down, or it's going to be a tough one for him. But now that all the cars are separated by over us, oh, into the outside wall is Pressy. Massive damage. Right front all torn up. I think the suspension's okay. Let's go back and replay what happened to the 94. See it from high above this racetrack in the blimp. Down the backstretch. Into the hill section. And of course there's a tree right there. How convenient for us. Yeah, you just caught the wall ever so slightly. Enough to damage the right front and scrape up the paint. He stays in the 3rd position. Let's do a quick 3-year field. Out the field is spread out and the lapping has begun. Austin Livingston getting out of the way here. He's going to do so successfully, but your leader right now, Sean Langton, led every lap so far, all 14 of them from the pole. He is out by about 6.2 seconds over Kyle Stewart, who is in the 41 today. Started in 3rd, up 1 position as he passed Nicholas Pressy not too long ago. Fastest car on the racetrack right here. Your 2nd place driver, Nicholas Pressy, we just rode on board Even with the damage, he continues to run in the 3rd position and is still one of the fastest cars on the racetrack. Dakota Floyd in the new steering wheel and pedal set finds himself in 4th in the 24. Brenton McKee having a quiet day so far in the 5th position, exactly what he wants. Currently 16 seconds back at Dakota Floyd and 8 seconds ahead of Richard Holland. Remember, the driver who spun off the nose of the 29 on lap number 1. You can see the left rear damage to show it as he backed into the outside wall of turn number 1. Holland currently in the 6th position. John Sanu is 7th in the 86, right where he started. I wonder if he's running a 16-to-1 steering ratio, as he is almost famous for. I think he's got that bump down a little bit, as this is not the racetrack. You want to try that. Jared Helmlinger recovering from his spin nicely. 8th spot for the 88. Thad Miller is in the 9th spot in the 13 car, and has a rearful of your leader, Sean Langton. And up with the 13 a lap down, unless the 13 blocks. It was unintentional, I know. Gonna let your leader by in turn number 6, and Austin Livingston. That driver is in the 10th spot. Little damage on the right front as well. Caught a wall somewhere around this facility. He's looking okay here in the 10th position. Just had a change for position. John Sanu been passed by Garrett Helmlinger, who goes around again. Just made the pass, and Helmlinger going to fall back. Will he fall back into the clutches of Thad Miller? He will. Is he able to get it righted? Yes. Heads up move by the 88, not trying to jump back in front of traffic right away. He goes off again to get out of the way. Rear tire is not happy on the 88. Falls back to 9th. And right behind him is 10th position Austin Livingston. As both drivers light up the rear tires. Helmlinger off track again. And if you're struggling with the handling now, it's only going to get worse. No need to make a pit stop here today. Helmlinger is going to make a pit stop, try and cool those tires down. We can make it on fuel, so that's not a concern. The only concern is tire wear. This place is notorious for burning up the rear tires. So easy. In this section right here, right there, you burn up the rear tires. Exiting turn 2, and then again, exiting turn 3 right here, and then you slide them. Going up the gears out of turn number 4 right here. And then under the entire turn 5 here, under braking, turning, and acceleration, you have a tendency to slide tires to get really loose over the crest. Turn 6 is usually okay for tire spin, but it's definitely possible if you miss your mark in 7, you get a little bit of tire spin, catch that curb wrong. So a lot of rear tires being used here at Lime Rock Park, and can be advantageous to change them as we have. Oh no, Dakota Floyd's involved. Livingston slides through. Oh my goodness. Pressy's off track as well. They're door banging still. Pressy pushed off the track by Floyd. Both cars with tremendous damage, as Livingston simply missed the corner. Let's go back and see that one again. Into turn 1 here. See, Livingston's trying to get out of the way. Missed the braking zone. Goes in way too hot. Hits the curb. Pressy misses the corner altogether, and Floyd into the back of the 23. Then on the rejoin, Floyd into the side of Pressy, pushes him off track. Back to the live shot here. Pressy probably not too happy with getting moved out of the way. He's able to chase down the 24 into turn number 1. Fakes to the right side. Tries to outbrake him. Going to get right to the back bumper. A little bit of wheel hop. Able to keep it pointed in the right direction. Can Pressy get there? Big slide. Both drivers slide. But able to get the power down is the 24. 94 following. Very close behind. into the hill section. Big drive in for Pressey. Need a lot of time right there. What can we do as they approach the lap car of Thad Miller, driver in the 8th position. Pressey onto the curb. Kind of missed the corner just a little bit. Not the optimal line as Dakota Floyd slowly pulls away. Kyle Stewart currently 7 seconds back of Sean Langton, who's just lapped John Sanu in 7th position. Richard Holland, the next one on the list for your leader. He's currently on the front stretch. Where is your leader? He is just over the hill of turn number 6 and 7. Probably about 10 or so seconds back is Sean Langton. But Pressey has caught up to Floyd and into turn 6. What does the 94 have for the 24? As they pass under the trees of turn 7. Pressey's going to get there to the quarter panel. Alongside, he's at the door now. Deep drive in. They're able somehow to not make contact. Floyd's off the racetrack. Oh, that was just about contact there too. Pressey's going to get around him. Move the 94 back into 3rd. Dakota Floyd hanging tough in the 4th spot. This battle will not go away. Few drivers who have had their issues already. Pressey in the outside wall of the hill section that we just saw. Dakota Floyd into the back of a lap car. The 23 of Livingston, currently running in the 9th spot. That's why they have their various dents and bruises. As again, we travel down the front stretch into turn number 1. Pressey's having a really hard time getting it down into turn 1 without sliding the rear tires around. Can Floyd cross him over here? He's going to get right to the rear bumper. They're able to whoa it up in time. You can see the cat and mouse game. Different braking points, rolling the corners in different ways, kind of squirting the throttle here or there, trying to get any kind of advantage on the driver in front, even try and trick him a little bit. Sometimes you look in the mirror and say, oh man, he's accelerating there, I have to go now, and then you get yourself out of shape. But these two drivers are two of the best in the series. They know exactly what they're doing as they battle hard for position number 3, 19 seconds behind your current leader, Sean Langton, who I don't know if he knows there's other cars on the track today. He's been that fast. He's lapped a couple of them. Kyle Stewart back to 8 seconds behind now, again on a nice Sunday drive, as Kyle has become used to here in Vsrl on the road courses. A little off track there, but nothing to be too upset about. Then there's these two who cannot get away from each other. Pressey has fallen back into the clutches of Floyd with 15 laps to go. I told you, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a quick one tonight. The lap times here, just under a minute. So that's the gap, 3rd to 4th. Still about a quarter second. Floyd's going to get a really good run out of number 2. Loses a bit of ground into 3. What about out of turn 4? Anything? Yes, a bit of a gain. Into the hill section. Pressey gets through there really well up the hill. Now 6. 94. Still keeping the gap. Through the final corner. Still about 0.3 of a second. Brad McKee hanging tough here. The 29 in the 5th position. Doing what he has to do to bring home a top 5 as he's 2.8 ahead of Richard Holland. Remember, Holland was spun around on lap number 1 by Brent McKee, the driver directly in front of him. I don't imagine payback is in order, but we've seen stranger things happen here on V-Speed. John Sanu currently in the 7th spot. First car 1 lap down. Thad Miller in the 8th position. Austin Livingston, we just saw him on the screen, and Garrett Helmlinger, I believe, has left the racing surface. He is in the 10th position, and that is where he is going to finish, unless something out of the ordinary were to happen. Langton currently working on Livingston for the 2nd time today. Holland not too far up the road as the gap is nothing. Between 3rd and 4th, they're going to slide into each other. Floyd drifts through turn number 1. Used Pressy up. Goodness gracious. That was close. That was just about 3rd and 4th knocked off the racetrack as Pressy cannot be happy with that. He goes off the track himself. Going to lose about 1.2, maybe 1.5 seconds. Let's see if the 94 can get back to the 24 because they might need to repay the favor again. As they both work up to the back bumper of first car a lap down, John Sanu. Holland has caught McKee. The gap now just under a second. Keep you apprised of the Dakota Floyd Nicholas Prest situation. The gap currently 1.4 between 3rd and 4th. This is the battle for 5th. On board with Richard Holland. Ooh, this may be a home track of sorts for him, I believe. New England is where Richard Holland is from, and this racetrack resides in Connecticut. 6th so far, Richard Holland. Bit of a, I believe, Jeff Burton throwback on that 31. A lot of throwbacks in this series, of course. Sean Langton with the Robbie Gordon throwback to his favorite NASCAR driver. Kyle Stewart, Tony Stewart, his favorite NASCAR driver. Dakota Floyd to Jeff Gordon. Again, his favorite NASCAR driver. Pressy with a Pressy original, as always, on the 94. Designs his own schemes. Does his own stunts. Brent McKee throwing it back to 2007 Brian Vickers. Holland we just touched on. Those two drivers now separated by about 0.6. Sanu in his very original and often run 86 Luke Transport machine. Thad Miller with the Orange Lemons car. We'll hear more about that here in December. Austin Livingston in the 23. I don't think that's a throwback to anyone in particular. And Helmlanger just said, throw something ARCA on it. And here we are in the 88. Quick look through your field. Paint scheme edition. As I think Brent McKee is playing the Jaws theme. Because the gap is getting smaller. That 31 is hungry for the 5th position. Winner already this season is Richard Holland. But he'd love to add another top 5 to the resume. Set himself up for a deep playoff run. Only the 4 races, but still got to be set up well to do well in those races, especially with Sean Langton so far out in front. The gap is now 7 seconds as he has caught the back of the duo we were just riding on board with. As McKee slides up a little bit in front of Holland. It's only half a second now. Holland catches some curb off of 4. That is going to slow him up tremendously. It's through the hill section. 29, 31, 7. Fun racetrack. Here in Connecticut. And under 10 laps to go. as your leader. Laps the 6th position, working on 5th. See if McKee gets out of the way the same way Holland got out of the way for Langton. He will get out of the way. Does that open the door? It does for the 31. He's right there. Can he cross over the 29? He will not be able to. Into turn number 4. Trying to roll the outside. Not going to work. The gap is back to about half a second. Can the 31 get around the 29? Hasn't been in front of him since the opening lap. We went for an unfortunate slide through the grass. These are the only cars on the racetrack or position within 4 seconds of each other. Here comes Holland. Gap's only two car lengths now, quarter second. Gonna peek to the inside. Thad Miller's off the track in front of him. See the 13 going a little bit wide at the top of the frame. McKee putting a lot of wheel into it through 2. It's right to the back bumper. Can he get any closer? McKee slides through turn 4. As the clouds start to build again here in Lime Rock. Gap through the hill section. Not changing all that much. And Kyle Stewart's over the hill. That's your second place driver. Still 7 seconds back of your leader. Holland missed turn 6 ever so slightly. Going to go through 7. And lost about 3 to 4 tenths through those last 2 corners. The lap times have fallen off by about 2 seconds. Not enough to make a pit stop for, considering there's only 6 laps to go. But drivers are currently managing their stuff. Absolutely they are. As Pressey has fallen back 7 seconds from Dakota Floyd, who is 16 seconds behind Kyle Stewart, who is 6.5 behind Sean Langton. And look at the gaggle of cars here through the hill section. This might be Holland's best chance. He works around Thad Miller. Thad's going to get out of the way. Kyle Stewart closing in very quickly. 5 to go. Will 5th place change hands? Can Langton stay perfect? If he's able to lead the last 5 laps, he will become, I'd have to think, the first driver to go wire to wire twice in a season. That's unheard of. He did it earlier this year at New Smyrna. Can he do it again today? As Holland has caught the back of McKee. McKee is sideways. Out of 4. Into 5. Through the hill section. McKee drives in really deep. Holland takes it shallow. I think he's going to let the 14 go by. The 41, apologies, go by. Will McKee do the same out of 6? No. Into 7. He will be out of 6. Holland's going to dive it in. No contact. Still side by side. Big block for McKee. They are so close together. Into 1. Holland so close. Not quite enough to get to the rear. He gets the rear bumper. He moves him a little bit. As they roll back into 3, side by side, still. Give the position to the 29 for now. 31's got the preferred line. He's going to take the spot away. McKee sideways. Still sideways. Red McKee back to 6th by 7, 8 tenths of a second. Make it 9. It's going to be a full second over the hill. McKee still sideways. Can't get the power down. Let's now let Richard Holland drive away smoothly. Move the 31 into the top 5. Move the 6 down. Or the 29 down to 6th. As with 3 laps to go, Sean Langton chasing the only VSRL road course he has yet to win on. Lime Rock. For those of you who are VSRL fans, go back the final season of the Truck Series. Sean Langton of the dominant truck that day had a connection issue. A black screen into turn number 1 destroyed the truck. Ended the win over to Ross Phillips. I know Sean wants that one back. He could get one back here today. He's won everywhere else. Won at Coda. Won at Watkins Glen. But not here. 2 more times around. 14 more corners to go for the driver of the 7. Kyle Stewart catching, but he's going to be too far behind. He's a second faster. 7 seconds behind? And 2 laps to go. That math is not mathing. Dakota Floyd currently in 3rd. Nicholas Pressey is 4th. Richard Holland in the 5th position. Then Brent McKee has fallen back to 6th. John Sanu is 7th under fire. We're very fast. Austin Livingston on the new tires. Thad Miller is 8th. Livingston is 9th, 3 laps down. And Helmlinger is 10th, still on pit road. This is going to get dicey here, as Langton's about to take the white flag. I'm going to keep an eye on this battle here as Sanu is a lap behind Pressey. This is not for position. Langton has now taken the white flag, rolling through turn number 1. Dominant effort for the driver of the 7. 6.5 out front of Kyle Stewart. Every driver in the field would have told you this is exactly how this race would have went if you would have asked them about 45 minutes ago when this race began. Up through turn 5 for the final time, into 6. Rounds the bend. Down the hill of the final corner. Into turn number 7. There goes Sean Langton. He's going to win again. This time at Lime Rock. Great work for the driver of the 7. Second place today going to be Kyle Stewart as he crosses the line. We'll wait about 20 seconds for Dakota Floyd. Still waiting. Through the final corner, I believe. There is your 3rd place finisher, Dakota Floyd. There's the winner. Doing his burnouts, trying to drift the entire racetrack. Not able to do so, but it's just as much fun to spin around in the grass after you lead wire to wire here on V-Speed. Congratulations. Sean Langton for the 3rd time this year. He won at Daytona. He won in New Smyrna. Now he wins in Connecticut at Lime Rock Park. Look at the burnout. No tires left on that truck, or left on that car after this one. Can he burn it up the hill? That's the real question. Impressive stuff. Oh, he's going to get some help. John Sanu gave him a little bit of help there. Dominant effort for Sean Langton. We're going to be back right after some quick commercial breaks. We'll be here for your post-race show, Vsrl ARCA Series, here on V-Speed. Back in a few.
And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37. Oh!
Rabbit. Where did he come from?
Here
comes
Swack.
Swack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
Back here on V-Speed. Just watched 40 laps here at Lime Rock, and here's how it went down. Sean Langton from the pole, wire to wire for the second time this year. Did that earlier at the short track. New Smyrna, great run there and better run here. Kyle Stewart finishes in the second spot after starting in third. Dakota Floyd mixing up the top four as well from third to fourth. Pressey lost two from where he started. Finishes as the last driver on the lead lap in the fourth spot. Richard Holland, first driver, one lap down, right where he started. Hard fought, fifth place finish for the driver, the 31. Brent McKee finishes in the sixth position after contact with the 31, and he tried hard but was unable to hold off Richard Holland. John Sanu in seventh, right where he started. Thad Miller up two from the last car on the grid to eighth position. Austin Livingston finished where he started, and Garrett Helmlinger, last driver in the field after disconnecting early at about the halfway point, finishes 10th. Tonight, the points will certainly be shaken up after this. But now, let's go talk with your top three. Start off, the driver of the 24, Dakota Floyd. Hey, Dakota, Morgan up in the booth. You got a copy?
I hear you.
So, how you liking the new wheel and pedals today?
I came into it. I started figuring it out at the end of that. The brake pedal was a little foreign at first, but I think we started figuring it out. I think it was overslowing too much. I think it started pressing it a little bit more, but I'd say a good outing on the new equipment.
Yeah, clearly. Running P3 had a phenomenal battle with Nick Pressey. I mean, I yelled about that one for a little while. I think you guys battled for what felt like 10 laps, 15 laps. You just could not get around the driver, the 94. What did it take to finally get there?
I just had to hope and prayer into one. I don't know if you caught the pass or not, but
we saw
it. I had to hope and prayer into one, and thankfully we were both washing out, and I just had a little bit more momentum into the corner than he did, and was able to get clear of him and set sail into P3.
So how hard is it at a track like Lime Rock, obviously known for being difficult to pass on, but how hard is it to not force yourself to do something that's going to put you in a bad spot where you have to, wait for them to make a mistake? How difficult is that as a driver?
Oh, it's very hard because the car feels so on top of the track the whole race, so any little bit of extra push that you try to do to get around someone, it just puts you in a really bad spot, and it's so easy to overcook corners here, and you go into the abyss if you do. So if you make one mistake, that could be it.
I hear you for sure. So let's talk about the only damage that this 24 sustained today. Fighting with Nicholas Pressey, if I'm not mistaken. Bit of a slide into turn one, trying to get around the 23. Did you see at that point in time your race go up in smoke?
I saw him park it a little bit into the corner, and Pressey overshot the corner, and I had nowhere to go at that point. So I thought with how hard I had hit him, I thought for sure I was going to have motor damage, but I never got a damage call from my spotter, so I figured the car was okay, and it seemed to drive fine. So after a few corners after the incident, I was like, okay, the car's fine, and I just kept driving my race.
I think the big concern for you was radiator damage, right? If the because the nose is pushed in pretty good on your 24 DuPont Chevrolet. Fortunately, water temps and oil temps under control, and third place for Dakota Floyd. Who do you want to shout out for the podium finish here at Lime Rock?
Well, got to shout out, teammates. Well, tonight we all kind of just hung out together. So shout out to the whole field. Honestly, I mean everyone just ran their race, and there was really no big incidents or big issues on track. So thank you everyone for a fantastic race, and thanks for Garrett for putting on another great league for us. It came out of the blue, so I'm really having fun being able to race with everybody again in the ARCA car. And thank you for what you and V Speed do for us, putting on awesome broadcasts. We love going back and watching it, seeing how the racing looked from your perspective all night. And shout out to everybody watching. Like I always say, without you guys, we don't have a show to put on.
Yeah, definitely got to thank all the fans out here for this one. It was a fun race, a quick one. We're still under an hour on the stream, but it was
Excellent.
a fun-filled hour. Certainly. That's your third place finisher, Dakota Floyd. Thanks for your time, Dakota.
Thank you, Morgan. Also, one more thing. Sean had to dip out, so don't worry about him for his interview.
I have heard that. Yes. Thank you for the input.
Okay. Yep. Just thought you'd know.
All good. All right. That's your third place finisher, Dakota Floyd.
Adios.
Up to the second place finisher tonight, Kyle Stewart. Mr. Stewart, Morgan up the V-Speed booth. You got a copy.
What's up, Mr. Cook?
Well, bad fast was Kyle Stewart tonight. Matching lap times with Sean Langton for most of this race. And a pretty flawless second place finish here tonight. What do you have to say for yourself?
Yeah, Sean was tough and traffic was tough. So maybe if I clear Pressy a little sooner, maybe it's a little bit closer. But I think Sean has me, and I think he's babying it on the end a little bit there to save. But who knows?
So you had a pretty good battle with the 94, so that to Dakota Floyd as well, as Pressy was hard to pass tonight, as he is every night. You followed him for probably the first 10 laps or so. What was it? What's it like following a car here, knowing you have to be so precise on your marks?
Yeah, it's tough, right? And different than other tracks, right? Because it's harder to see a marker. There's not a brake marker of a sign to your left or your right for most of these corners. You're looking for a jut of a line out where the white line's a little angled here, and I'm going to brake here. So when you're tucked up behind somebody, you just have to play it safe. So you can't be as aggressive as I would have liked to have been. That's kind of how it went for me there.
Yeah, I hear you for sure. It's a tough place to drive in this ARCA car. We've heard it a couple times already. On top of the racetrack, slipping and sliding around. The 41 seemed to be pretty locked into the racetrack all night. So what is it that you do differently from other drivers, if you can share that little secret with us, to be able to keep it pointed the right direction all the time?
I think here, in comparison to a lot of the other tracks that we go to and road courses in a similar type car, the B car, or even the C truck, or even this car, it's always just a lot about throttle control and your brake input on entry. Too much brake, you're gonna wheel hop and get it spun around, downshifting too quick, even more wheel hop and get it spun around, back to throttle too quick, it just wants to spin. So it's really about it's being aggressive with everything, but at the same time on the softer side of all of those things.
I hear you, but those Husingfeld Sprint pedals definitely helping you to be as smooth as you possibly can be. Doing a great job.
They sure don't hurt.
They sure don't hurt in the 41 machine here. Who do you want to shout out after a pretty clean race here at Lime Rock and a much needed second place finish?
Got to thank all the Orange Speed guys. So we're still a little disheveled, but I appreciate every one of them that I've been a part with and the team. Thank Garrett for putting the league on. Thank you guys for broadcasting it. And then shout out to the teammate for getting the win, and Dakota behind me getting third place. So all around pretty good race for us.
Right on. Well, congratulations on the second place finish tonight, Kyle. See you next week at Charlotte.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. That's your second place finisher tonight, Kyle Stewart. And unfortunately, we heard the news. We will not have an interview with your winner, Sean Langton. Had to step away unexpectedly, but the driver of the 7, I'm sure would have something to say like, it was fun, car was fast, led all the laps. Normal Sean interview stuff. We'll see if we can catch him next week at Charlotte. Maybe get a pre-race interview with the driver of the 7. But without Sean's interview, that is going to do it for us tonight here on VSRL, here on V-Speed. The Vsrl ARCA Series from Lime Rock. Just finished 40 laps at this beautiful road course facility. Absolutely a great place to race. Looking ahead, Charlotte Motor Speedway next week for 100 laps. Then Martinsville, Talladega, Michigan, Dover, the Milwaukee Mile, and Chicagoland to wrap up the season. Don't miss a moment of the action. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a moment of the racing action here on V-Speed. You found it, you found the video, you found the channel. You might as well stick around a little while longer. I've been your host, producer Morgan Cook, here tonight. Got to thank Bradley Cooper, Eddie Smith, Adam Baker, everyone here at VSRL, Garrett Helmlinger, putting this thing on. We'll see you tomorrow for QSR, and we'll see you next week right here, same time, same place, for VSRL ARCA at Charlotte. Good night, everyone.